And now we're going to take our factoring one step further and we're going to use it to solve. So we have what's called the zero product property. The zero product property is something you all know. And basically it's saying if I have two things that are being multiplied together and they equal 0, then either one, the other, or both are 0. Because that's the only way you can equal 0 when you multiply. When we have quadratic equations, we have what's called a standard form. Standard form has your exponents in descending order, so x squared, x constant, equal to 0. So it's important when we solve that we write it first in standard form. Key indicator there is if it's equal to 0. Then we factor. Then we set each factor equal to 0 and solve. And then finally, we can check our answer. Just check by substituting back into the original problem to see if it's true. So example part A, it's actually already kind of started for us. It's already been factored and it equals 0. So we're ready to go on to step 3, where you set each factor equal to 0 and solve it. So we get x equals 6. And x equals -3/4. Now you might think part B is like part A, but it's not. It looks like it's already factored, but it's not equal to 0. Right. Since it's not equal to 0, I'm going to have to move that 7 over to the left. But right now, I wouldn't have anything to put it with. I would have to just put it on the end of the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to FOIL. So outside is 5x, that's 9x for a total of 14x. Then I can move the 7 over. Subtract 7. And then I factor. I'm going to do this one by trial and error. So I know it's got to be 3x and x. Equaling 8 is 8 and 1 or 4 and 2. If I make it 2 and 4, that puts the 3 with the 4, which is 12, plus 2 more makes 14. And then we set each factor equal to 0. And we get our answers of -2/3 and -4. Part C, we want to write it in standard form. So I'm going to move the 2m. I'm going to put it under its like term. And I'm going to move the 5 to its like term. So we have 2m squared minus 5m minus 12 equals 0. If I'm doing the AC method, -8 and 3. And then setting each factor equal to 0 and solving to get our answer. Part D is a 4-term polynomial. It's already equal to 0, so I'm going to go by grouping. And then x squared minus 1 factors by the squares pattern. So So I have 3 factors giving me answers of 4/3, -1, and +1.